Every single year, like clockwork, especially on the SRT8 forums, I hear about people having overheating issues with their trucks. Now bear with me. I'm doing this with no script. This is just off the top of my head. Okay, I got a few minutes, and I'm just doing it. This is just real. This is not AI. Okay, so just bear with me. Let me break it down. Now, I'm working on some stuff right now that's possibly going to solve this problem for us. But as I think about it, these trucks, when they were developed and tested and set up, and you know, you see them covered up riding around, they do hot weather testing on all vehicles before they sell them, right? And so these Jeeps were taken out to Death Valley and all this stuff in the summertime, and they were run with air conditioning on and 120 degrees and all this other stuff, and they found a way to keep them cool. And when we bought our rigs new, they worked. There was never a problem. It was never an issue, right? Now, if you out here, you can't overwhelm the system, I found out. You can beat on your truck enough to overwhelm it and you know, raise the temperatures up a little bit. You can do that with any car. But normal driving, under normal circumstance, your truck should stay cool. Now, I find also, when I'm dealing with these people on the forums, a lot of guys out here really don't have a solid understanding of how cooling systems work. So I want to break it down a little bit, give you a little one-on-one, a little cooling one-on-one. All right, so we can kind of get a basic understanding. Now I know it can get technical, and it's the system itself is not difficult to understand, but when you add everything else into it, like your air conditioning, like the fan and the electrical system of your car, thermostats and all that stuff, it makes it a little more complicated. But let's get to the baseline, all right? Baseline facts. Your vehicle, your engine, your big swelling Hemi, it has to have coolant inside, which runs through all these little channels and runs up behind all the parts in your engine that make heat, especially the cylinder heads and the cylinders and cylinder walls and you know, it runs through the front of the engine, right? Now, there's a channel where the water or the coolant comes out of your engine, and it goes into your dashboard. It runs through pipes, and then there's another little radiator in there, and air blows across it, and that's how you get heat when it's cold outside. Now, your engine's gonna make heat regardless, so it absolutely needs this little system of liquid coolant running through the engine. Now, the coolant itself is like a little transporter. It goes into your engine, runs up next to your pistons and all through the heads and everything, and then it goes down through the water pump, and the water pump pushes it into your radiator once it's warm, okay? Now, that coolant carries this heat. It runs up next to the pistons, and it takes heat off of them and your heads and all that stuff, right? It takes heat away, carries heat like a little transit system, and it runs out into the radiator, and then the radiator takes the heat away from your coolant as it crosses the little radiator, crosses all those little blades that you look at when you see on your radiator. Heat gets taken from your coolant, and it becomes cool again, and then it runs back into the engine and does another round of taking heat away. Your radiator up front is your biggest cooling factor. That's what really does it, right? Now, the thermostat is located right in between the water pump and the radiator. So, when you first start your engine, it's not hot. But it's just, you know, whatever. And the engine's, you know, warming up slowly for surely. And once it gets to a certain point, there's a little thing called a thermostat. It sits on the side of the water pump. It bolts directly to the water pump. And it's a valve that opens. It senses the temperature of the coolant, and when it gets to a certain point, it opens up and lets the ooh, that's expensive. It's got a text message. Anyway, the coolant opens up, the thermostat opens up and lets the coolant run through the radiator and cool off. Now, that's the basic system, right? So we gotta add at the radiator. The coolant runs through the radiator, once the engine's up at normal temperature, it runs through there and gets cooled off. How does that happen? Well, when you're not moving, when the car is sitting still, or you're slow, you're in traffic, you're letting it warm up in the morning or whatever, there's a fan that sits behind the radiator and pulls air through it. Okay, like I was saying, for the radiator to work properly, you have an extended system. There is a system of fan that pulls air through the radiator, and that system also works on your air conditioning system. Now, the air conditioning system is very similar to the coolant system. There's a liquid that runs through the compressor, and the compressor compresses it, pushes it out, it becomes really hot, and it goes through a cooler, which is called the condenser. When you're talking about air conditioning, that sits in front of your radiator, does the same thing. It's a heat exchanger, and air blows through that compressed Freon or R134A, whatever the cooler refrigerant is. That stuff runs through there, gets cooled off, and then it goes into your dashboard, and then a fan in there blows cold air off of that radiator into your face, right? And then that liquid runs back around, gets hot again, and goes into the compressor, and the compressor makes it hot again, and it does a whole little system. And those two systems both converge in the front of your car. The condenser sits in front of the radiator. You also have a transmission cooler. Actually, that's a third system. 3 systems come together. And if you got an oil cooler, same thing. They all come together right there in the front of your car. And one big fan that you got from the factory is supposed to cool 4 systems off. Okay? Now, normally that's a good job, and it works fine. So anyway, you got that. You got your radiator system. You got your air conditioning system, and all these other systems that are using that front of your car to cool off. Now, why is it at the front of your car? Because you have a front engine vehicle. Sometimes you have a rear engine vehicle, and they still might put the radiators up front. But the whole point of that is, up front, when you're driving at speed, you're getting ram air through the front of your car, through the grill. And as that air, even if it's 120 degrees outside, is still much cooler than the 200 degrees that your car is running at, 200 to 215, right? So 120 degree wind in the front of your car is way cooler than the temperature of your engine. So that is it working as a heat exchanger for all those things. So when your car is moving, your fan doesn't really have to do any work. That's something this will help you diagnose your problem. Now, when your car is moving, your temperature should remain in check. All right? Regardless of your fan. Now, when you idle and you're sitting still, like I'm doing right now, you need airflow to be coming through and hitting all 4 of these liquid systems that are in your car and cooling off these heat exchangers. So that fan has got to be working and working well. All right? Now, let's see. In thermostat, we covered the thermostat. We covered the heat exchangers. We covered the pumps that push it around. All right, every system's got a pump that pushes the fluid around, and the fluid runs around, drops off heat, picks up heat, and cycles, right? Now, your fans, electric fans on a car, now, how they work is they work by electricity. They're not connected to your crankshaft like they used to be. Way back in when, the fan was always turning, no matter what. Now, they did develop a little thing called a fan clutch, which lets the fan turn slowly and reduces the drag on your motor when the car was cool. And it would know when the car warmed up and needed that fan to blow a little harder, and it would kick in and lock the fan up, and the fan would blow at full speed. But now, modern cars, since like the mid-'80s, right? They've all gone to electric fans. Now, electric fans are used basically turned on and off by the computer. The computer knows how hot your car is, how hot the coolant is. Now, it doesn't really judge based on the air conditioning, except for the fact when you turn the air conditioning on, even if your car is cold, the air conditioning heat, coolant, the refrigerant heat in the air conditioner gets hot quick, and it needs that fan. Otherwise, the air will never blow cold in your car. Even when it's cold outside, you want cold air. That's the only way to get it to work. So the fan will turn on low speed just for the air conditioner, but that's done by the computer. Now, when a computer senses your coolant temperature is getting hot, getting warm, your thermostat's opened up, it measures the temperature of the coolant coming back from the radiator. So when that gets warm enough, your car will say, okay, kick on the fan. And you can kick it on low speed or high speed. A lot of fans have two different speeds. And those speeds are either actuated by a voltage reduction, a voltage increase or reduction on a single speed, like a variable speed fan, or there's two separate circuits, one low, one high, and they operate two different speeds on the fan. But either way it go, the fan kicks on. That's a separate set of logic that turns your fan on and off, also to keep the car at an optimum temperature. That's why it doesn't come on real strong until you get hot. We don't want to waste that. We don't want to be constantly blowing the coolant cold and never let the car warm up, because the car does need to warm up to a certain temperature. You don't want to drive around with your car at 50 degrees coolant, with 50 degree coolant all day long, because a lot of things will not work right. You'll never get to maximum efficiency. Car has to be up to a certain temperature, but it shouldn't go above a certain temperature. So all these things work in concert to keep your engine running right. Now, when it comes to diagnosing a problem, you'll have a car, it's overheating, you can't figure out why. You don't know what to do. Well, we need to know. When you come on the forum and you ask, my car's overheating, I don't know what to do. First thing we're going to ask you, is it overheating when you're driving, or is it overheating when you're sitting still, or both? We're going to ask you, have you checked to make sure your fans are turning? We're going to ask you, do you have enough coolant in your system? Because if you don't, you have air pockets and they cause problems. We're going to ask you a bunch of different things, okay? Because they all matter. And as you start to go through and figure out when your problem's happening, how bad is it happening, how long is it happening, is it intermittent, does your car sometimes overheat and sometimes not? A lot of questions like that. And when you understand how the system works, you start to be able to put these little clues together, and they paint a picture of what's going on. So, like myself, for instance, I've been having an issue with my Jeep, and it's been getting hot when I slow down, or when I idle. It just creeps up. After looking at everything in my truck, it's pointing to the fan. It's pointing to my fan being weak. Now, you got to have a good fan. I don't think I have a good fan right now. I've replaced my fan in my truck before it died. I mean, the stock fan, I actually replaced it because I was chasing a problem. And it pointed to the fan was not working intermittently. That's what I thought. But I replaced that fan, and I still had that same problem come back. Found out it was the wiring on the fan, the actual harness coming from the PCM going to the fan. Right at the fan, it had gotten hot and it degraded the connection, so it was hit and miss. It was not making good contact all the time. But anyway, before I figured that out, I replaced the fan with a cheap aftermarket fan. And after I did that, I have always had these heating issues. And they would, normally I'm good. All winter, good. Spring, good. Fall, good. Summertime, problems. So, I'm back to the fan now. And the fan is the culprit for me, I think, because I changed to a cheap aftermarket fan. And when I go look at, when the Jeep is hot, how is this going to be? I get out, pop the hood, and I open the hood, pop the hood. The fan, I don't feel it. It's not blowing strong like my other cars. Now, I got real good fan well, this is stock. In my 300, I got a real good Dorman OE fixed fan, and it's better than stock. actually. And when you open the hood, when the engine's running and it's warm, you feel a hurricane pushing, not a hurricane, but anyway, you feel strong wind coming from that fan. Even my Magnum, which was on a stock fan, stock Mopar fan, same thing, felt really strong. This Jeep, not this Jeep, my SRT8 Jeep, the fan felt weak. Now, I'm going to replace my entire fan system. I'm going to go above and beyond even the stock fan. Mopar, Dorman doesn't make an OE fix for my truck. So what I'm going to do, and it's coming up real soon here, I'm going to do this. This is real soon. I got everything laid out. I'm going to increase, stock fans blow about 24 to 2,700 cubic feet per minute. The fan I have purchased flows 3,200 cubic feet per minute. That's a strong fan. And it's variable speed. It's not a 2-speed setup. So I will be rewiring everything and using a side standalone fan controller, which will read directly the temperature at the radiator and adjust the fan speed accordingly until the optimum temperature is reached. We're going to do that, and we're going to come back with the results. I'm going to dry this thing around in the heat. I got to get this done before we get out of August, okay? It's going to happen real soon here. And I'm going to bring you the video, and we're going to go through it, and we're going to figure it out. And then we're going to simplify it and make a kit, and or at least I'm going to give you all the info you need to put this new fan in your truck and end this problem for good. But hopefully I gave you a little bit of understanding of how cooling systems work and why. It could be anything. It could be a thermostat. It could be the fact you don't have enough coolant in your car. It could be your fan not working right. It could be the relays that control the fan not working right. It could be many, many things, okay? You could even have, over the years of driving, that condenser, which sits in the front right behind your grill, takes a lot of abuse. A lot of little tiny debris and rocks and things get through there, and it flattens the vanes on the condenser. And that will stop letting air get through, or as much air get through. And that air that goes through your condenser is what is used to cool your radiator, your engine radiator. So when that gets blocked, your air conditioner won't blow cold until you get moving, and your coolant will heat up if you're not moving. And so it's things like that. You really need to know how this works to make a proper diagnosis. You can take it to a shop, and they're gonna, it's not always cut dry. Sometimes they'll get it on the first try, sometimes they won't. So you need to know what to look for. You need to make sure your condenser is clear. You need to make sure your radiator is clear. There's not leaves and dirt and 50 million dead bees in your radiator or in the condenser. You do a lot of road trips, man, that condenser is gonna get packed with bugs. Trust me on that one. It's things you have to do. It's things you need to understand to help you deal with an overheating issue. It's a lot to it, but it's still simple. It's still fairly simple. But I hope I can help. If you got any comments, if you got any questions or any ideas, or if I've left something out, leave it in the comments below, and we'll get the discussion going. And I'll come back and we'll make another video and we'll freshen this up. But for now, that's all I got for you. Good luck with your heating issues. Like I said, we're working on some stuff here at the M-Cube Network. We're gonna have ready, because this should not be happening every year. It should not be happening every year, but we're gonna get this straight. But until we get this straight, I will be having a Hemi under my right foot at all times. All times.